The notion of aging may seem a trivial problem, and it's poked fun at on comedy shows and on tacky birthday cards.
Why do we as a society hate old people so much?
Because they're lame.
No! Creed, no, they are not.
Aging, the way we view it, does have serious consequences, and especially in the workplace. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how to recognize ageism in the workplace. And that, my friends, that's up next. Before I tell you how to recognize ageism in the workplace, I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and subscribe to Over 50 TV. You can do that just by hitting that little red subscribe button. It's underneath the screen. There's also a little bell. If you hit that little bell, you'll get our latest updates and they'll be delivered right to your inbox. And there's a thumbs up button. If you give us a thumbs up, that lets me know that you've enjoyed our video, that you find value in it, and that it's been a help to you. So listen, without further ado, let's get to how to recognize ageism in the workplace. Hi, welcome back to Over 50 TV. My name is Lou Reyes. I'm your host. And as someone who has interviewed thousands of people over the years and employed hundreds, I feel I'm uniquely qualified to help you to recognize ageism in the workplace. Now, I've established or come up with 6 ways that I believe you can recognize ageism. Now, I want to clarify this, and I want to make sure that you understand, though, when I give you these 6 reasons, I am absolutely not saying that if one of these match up to a concern that you have, that it's definitely ageism. But I will tell you that if you listen to all 6 and all 6 match up, then to me there's a high likelihood that ageism is a factor in your company and certainly with you. I'm going to start with number 1 of the 6 steps that I've established here. And number 1 is when you're automatically passed up for a learning opportunity. And you know, that can be whether you are being, or a younger person is offered a chance to go to a off-site meeting and all their expenses are paid, or maybe some kind of a tuition reimbursement program. But when you see that it's automatically offered to a younger person, when you, the person who's over 50, are not being offered this opportunity, to me, that is an opportunity, or I should say the potential for ageism. Number 2, being overlooked for challenging assignments. And you know, this is kind of an interesting one to me because what I've seen in the course of working with really hundreds of companies over the years as a publisher of a business-to-business magazine, what I've seen is sometimes when an employee is not offered an opportunity for a challenging assignment, it's perceived or thought that they can't handle it. It may not just be the fact that they just are not equipped to handle it. It may be ageism. It may be that the employer is looking at that employee and thinking, yeah, they're a little older and possibly, quite possibly, they can't handle that opportunity. Now, the problem with that, of course, is that if they're not giving it a challenging assignment and they're not able to handle that assignment, then that is going to hurt them in terms of advancement in the company. Being passed over for raises or promotions is another one of those symptoms of ageism in your workplace. And a great example, I've seen this, I've witnessed this, where a company, the management team at a company are all younger people, even though there are people there that are a bit older, say they're over 50 years old, but they are not in a management position. They're being passed over for an opportunity to get raise increases because the responsibilities are not greater. So when you do see that, especially if you see that across the board, if you see that most of the management positions at a company or most of the more difficult or challenging assignments are being given to people who are younger, to me that is a clear telltale sign of ageism in the workplace. And again, I've witnessed that, I've seen that at companies, having worked with, as I mentioned earlier, hundreds of companies over the years, talking to business owners, presidents of companies, I've seen this happen. It could be subtle, but it does happen. Another factor, a possibility when it comes to determining whether or not ageism is affecting you, is if there is a spoken or an unspoken assumption that you are not entitled to time off because you don't have children at home, you don't have to go home and take care of them. So if there is an unspoken or even a spoken assumption that you're not entitled to time off, that because you don't have children at home, to me that is a possibility for ageism as well. Another factor, another symptom of ageism at a company is if an employee, if you are not being invited to important client or company meetings, if you're being automatically excluded, if you're not receiving an invitation to attend the meeting, if they or the company or your manager doesn't invite you, it's not necessarily because it's ageism. It could be because your skills or your expertise or your experience isn't required. But if this happens frequently, if you are frequently overlooked, if you are frequently not invited to an important meeting, then I would start to wonder, is this ageism? Disparaging comments are remarks about your age. That is obvious, and it can be very subtle. It can be in a joking manner, or it can be in a serious manner. But when you hear disparaging comments about your age, that to me is very much a strong or a telltale sign that ageism is at work here. So when you have somebody talk to you and they refer to your age, or they refer to you don't have the energy, or you won't have the ability to do this because you're an older person, obviously it's disparaging. And to me, again, it's one of the what I would call a symptom of ageism in your workplace. So I've just given you a rundown, a quick rundown of 6 ways that you can see or determine if there is ageism in the workplace. And some of these are very, very subtle. And I want to stress what I mentioned earlier is that if 1 or 2 are applicable to you, if you think, I'm being discriminated against because of ageism, because of my age, if 1 or 2 of these are applicable, I still I would hesitate, and certainly I would never say that it is definitely ageism, but I wouldn't back off the idea that it could be. But let me stress again, if it's 1 or 2, I'm not going to tell you, I think it's ageism. If it's 4, 5, or 6, if all of these factors, all these symptoms, if you're feeling this, if you're seeing this at your workplace, and I would say there is a good chance that ageism is at work where you're at. But again, I don't want to, without knowing all the details, I would never say that for sure. But I've seen enough of it to know that what I've just told you, the 6 symptoms, the 6 factors are definitely applicable when it comes to determining if there is ageism in your workplace. So listen, if you have any questions, as usual, you can always send me an email, send me a message. I'd be happy to talk with you. For now, I just want to say I appreciate you watching this video. I hope I've been some help to you. Again, if subscribed over 50 TV, all you've got to do is hit that little red button. There is a little bell. If you hit that little bell, you'll get our latest updates, and again, they'll be delivered right to your inbox. There's also a thumbs up button. If you've gotten value from this video, I hope you'll give us a thumbs up and let me know that you've enjoyed the video, that it's been a help to you. But again, I just want to stress, and I want to go back to this. This is to me, this is a very important video, and it's 1 of 2 that I want to do on ageism. I've got another one that'll come up probably next week. But for now, I look forward to meeting you and talking to you again soon. Have a great day, everybody.